Madam Clerk, will you, we're gonna call to order the public safety meeting. This is November the 22nd. It is roughly 12:03. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderwoman Davis,
Present.
Alderwoman Howard,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Spencer,
Present.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Present.
Alderman Bosley, Alderman Oldenburg,
He's excused.
Alderman Narayan,
Here.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderman Page,
Present.
Alderwoman Keys,
Present.
Chair Vaccaro,
Present.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderman Bosley, Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. 8 present. We have a quorum.
Okay, so we need to take a motion, looking for the approval of the minutes from the November 16th meeting. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, madam, we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley, Alderman Oldenburg, Alderman Narayan,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderman Page,
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys,
Aye.
Chair Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderman Bosley, Alderman Oldenburg. 8 aye votes.
Thank you, 8 being present. We're going to go ahead and get started here. I would like to swear in, I'd like to have you swear in. We have 1 speaker today so far. We should have had more than this. I guess they'll join in, but Dale Haller, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong.
It's Haller.
Haller.
It's the same A as an apple, 2 dots over the A.
Okay, Haller. Well, Madam Clerk, would you swear in Mr. Haller?
You raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do, I received a phone call. He's from one of my constituents, and his concern had to do with his interaction with the police and a car being towed. And I told him I would give him a minute or two, and I was kind of hoping that Director Isom should have been on here, and we'll also bring something up we'll bring the police chief into a further meeting. But since he signed on, I do want to give him a few minutes to explain what he's upset about, and I'm just going to go ahead and allow that. And then just so you know, we will do a meeting at a different date, most likely next week, with the chief, with your concerns. But since you have the Public Safety Committee in front of you, go ahead and let them know your concerns, and then we're going to go on from there. So you're up, Mr. Heller.
Good morning,
Order.
alderpersons of the city of St. Louis. Thank
Point
you.
of order.
Oh, state your point of order.
Did we do the swearing in?
Yes, she swore him in.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I missed it.
No, I know, that's okay. And the chief's texting me, so I'm going to read my text while Mr. Holler's speaking.
Good morning. Good afternoon. My name's Dale William Haller Jr. I live at 3136 Hampton. First, I want to thank all of you alderpersons for your service and the job that you do. It's a thankless job, but I want you to know that I'm grateful because I love my city and I love my neighborhood. I have a huge problem. My cars and my property have been vandalized several times. So it's become important to me to protect the things that I have and own. With that being said, I've taken it upon myself to acquire a legal weapon, to become legally trained to conceal and carry, and purchased the license from the city of St. Louis, kept up my license and training. However, after 3 times that are on record with the St. Louis City Police Department and paying the expensive deductibles for my
Let me send
insurance,
something to Terry.
I'm sorry, and spending the expensive amounts of money for the deductibles on my insurance, I've become vigilant along with my neighbors in keeping an eye on what's happening in our neighborhood. And we have a great neighborhood here in between Hartford and Juniata on Hampton Avenue. I invite you to please come by and look at how we keep our lawns, our yards, and the street clean in this row of Hampton Avenue. And I'm grateful for the services of the trees and the street cleanings that the city does. So the reason I'm here is Sunday, I left for a meeting. I'm an iron worker of 23 years, a certified English teacher, grades 5 through 12, and a coach in the city of St. Louis, and a musician who plays music in several venues and events in the city of St. Louis. I was leaving for a meeting Sunday at about, I'm going to say roughly 4:30, almost 5 o'clock. And I witnessed a man with a red car following closely behind it stop and park their car in the middle of the driveway of an elderly neighbor on Juniata. I noticed the behavior was suspicious. I participate in the app called Nextdoor and know of all of the criminal behavior with the catalytic converters, as where I'm a victim of that as well, and it's on record, and the Kia situation. So I watched this person get into the other car and just leave the car right in front of that elderly woman's driveway. So I was leaving and parked at the end of my street right there at the corner, the north corner of Hampton and Juniata, and called the police and spoke to the 911 operator. And by the way, I commend them, because knowing the problem of the 911 sector of calling in, my call was answered immediately and proficiently, and the lady collected all of the data necessary and said she would make a call. I waited about 45 minutes for an officer to show up, informing the people that I was going to be late for my meeting for the event that I was going to be entertaining at in Soulard, and they never showed up. So I left and came back, and the car was still there. It did, however, have 2 tickets on the car, but it was still parked in the lady's driveway. So I got up and went to work Monday morning and came home, and at about, I'm going to say 8ish, 9ish in the morning, and there was a sergeant, and I don't remember his name, but I'll tell you that he was a heavy-set man, wore glasses, and remarked that he was going to retire in about 6 months. and he was closely investigating and vigilantly researching information about the car. And the little old lady came out and we were talking, and I told the sergeant, I'm like, because I'm active in my community, Mr. Vaccaro knows, as well as Mr. Vollmer. I go to church at St. Ambrose on the Hill with Mr. Vollmer, and I frequent his establishment on the Hill as a result of my participation in my community. And I'm also very close friends with Joe Barbalia, and you can confirm my my commitment to our community in this neighborhood with him as well. But in speaking with the sergeant, he told me that there were only 2 officers on patrol in my neighborhood, and they were trainees because all of the other officers were off the streets in training. Think about that. 2 trainee officers in my district, and all the other ones are in training. And there's a sergeant with 6 months left in his career out investigating something as simple as a car that should have been removed from the driveway of a constituent more than 24 hours ago. That concerned me, and I called Mr. Vollmer and we had a conversation. And I can't tell you how grateful and respectful I am for Mr. Vollmer, because I try to contribute to our city. I try to do the right things for the right reasons. And in the past, so much so that I've gone to the news and complained with and met Lauren Traeger and spoke on camera, on public television, and made aware that I was going to do so with Mr. Vollmer regarding the policy previously, which was, if you get your car ripped off, you're victimized twice, once by the robber and then by the city having to pay the fines to get possession of your car. And if you're a man like my roommate was, who works as a cook in a restaurant and delivers pizzas just to survive, that I think it was almost $300 to get your car out of the tow yards, a large amount of money. With that being said, I thought to myself, why is there 2 trainees for all of my ward working and nobody's dealing with this problems? Ladies and gentlemen, I know that this is not just a problem in my community, in my ward. I know it's a problem everywhere. I've gone to great lengths to protect my things. As an iron worker, I have the good fortune of knowing how to weld. I've welded washers over the locks of my van. I'll be happy to go out if you'd like me to and take my laptop and show you the plate that I've had to weld over the license cover because of the criminals who are breaking in to my van or trying to break into my cars and steal the catalytic converters or audio equipment that I have to keep in my van because I don't have enough space to store them in my home. I bought security cameras, I bought car alarms, but still, and I know that you're powerless over some of these problems, but at the same token, you have the power to help people like me who are trying to pay my bills, who pay taxes, who keep their neighborhood clean, who try to keep their neighborhood safe. And all I'm asking is keep the police that we have on the streets, keep them serving and protecting us, and reward them. You know, I'm aware that there's a lot of money sitting in limbo. Spend some of that money. give them raises, hire more police. I'm all for training. I'm a teacher. Do you see? This is not a picture. This is literally the books behind me. I understand the power of education. I'm an iron worker who went to college and became an English teacher while ironworking. I know what hard work, what brutally physically demanding, intellectual, emotional work is like. I know you've got a tough job.
We,
I know you have to listen to a lot of people, but please help us. Please help us. Thank you for
Bill,
letting me share.
no, I appreciate that. And I don't mean to cut you short, but I'm gonna have you back to speak when I can actually get the chief and them in, and I'll try to do that for next week. But I did, since I had anticipated that they would be here, but they're not. I didn't want to go and let you speak, but I also, the fire chief's here, so I know I have to kind of move forward because he is limited in his time.
I'm thankful for letting me speak, and again, to all of you alderpersons, I'm grateful for the thankless job that you do. And I ask again, please help us.
Thank you. And thank you. And you can hang on if you want. We're gonna go on with the meeting. Or you can leave. It's just your call. But this is what we do now. It's kind of, might be boring, may not, you never know.
I'll leave. I've said what I need to say. And again, thank you, all of you alderpersons, for the thankless job you do.
Okay, God bless. Thank you for coming in. So I would think, since it's my resolution and I don't see the vice chair person here, I would imagine that either Alderwoman Davis or Howard, whoever wants to chair this while I'm presenting my bill or my resolution, I guess that's appropriate.
I'll yield to Alderwoman Howard.
So Alderwoman Howard, you're you're running things now. And I am,
Thank you, Alderwoman from the 19th. Okay, let me grab the agenda here.
it's resolution number
Resolution.
147, 145, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Alderman Vaccaro, would you like to give us a description of board resolution number 145?
Yes,
We need to
Okay.
make a motion to put it before the committee.
I don't think so. I think I'm just, I
Okay.
think you're giving me permission to speak on the board bill.
Go right
Uh,
ahead.
And
Proceed.
I did ask the fire chief to come in also. The board bill's simple.
All right, do we want to swear him in and take care of that?
Oh, yeah,
while
you
we're-
have to, yeah, yes, I'm sorry.
All right. Ms. Higgs,
Do you affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
okay, Alderman Vaccaro, proceed.
Okay, so this resolution, which I believe almost everyone during the regular meeting was wanting to sign on to it, but it got referred to committee. I had to send it somewhere. Right now, there are 17 promotions that have been being held up for years, and a test that hasn't been given for years, and a court order ordering that the promotions be made and that a test be put out. I was kind of hoping, although he was here at the last meeting, would have been Director Dan Isom. But what I'm asking for is simply that these promotions, and I think we're asking for these promotions to be made. I asked the chief, are these necessary promotions? And do we need to take a test? I mean, that's why I want the chief to come in. I mean, am I just barking up the wrong tree? I mean, I talked to the guys and they're telling me these are very necessary, and it's a court order. And if I could have the chief speak on that, I would appreciate it. So, Madam Chair, I'm asking if I can ask the chief directly questions.
I'll answer any questions you ask me.
Okay, but I gotta go through the chair. It kind of goes like that.
Yes, Alderman Vaccaro. Chief, will you defer to Alderman Vaccaro for questions?
Yes,
Okay.
Chief, there's 17 promotions. My understanding, there's Black females, there's minority minorities that have been held back that have not gotten these. Just even going beyond all that. Are these even necessary? My understanding, they're extremely necessary for the safety of the firefighters. Am I wrong?
no, I don't believe you're wrong, Alderman Vaccaro. This is part of my table of organization, my TO, that I go through a budgetary process to have all positions approved, from EMTs, paramedics, to firefighters, to captains, battalion chiefs, deputy chiefs, on up to my position.
So,
I believe these positions are warranted. I did agree. I mean, your statement regarding that the test has been around for a while is old. I agree with that statement. I've been trying to push a 3-year test for all positions, promotable positions within the fire department. That hasn't come to fruition yet. But no, I do believe that the positions are warranted within the budget and the yearly process of the city. And that's why as we have open positions, I do put in the requisitions as I have to. On every time we have a position come up, I put in a rec, and they've been held up.
so, and my understanding is that the personnel department granted them and they're being held up by the public safety director.
I don't know if that is true. I believe they are being held up through the Department of Public Safety through my direct report.
So, but you put in for these, you feel they're necessary, you put in for them.
Correct.
And so far, and how long ago did you put in for these?
Oh, this has been going now on about probably 9 months.
Okay. So what I am asking, and what this resolution says, and I do believe the majority of all the aldermen are going to sign on to this, is that they go ahead and do these promotions and put this test together. And the one thing I can say, and I'll say very publicly, if not, if they're not, are they, well, I guess, are they talking to you about this? It seems like, are they moving on this at all, or is still it is just nothing?
Who would they be? I'm not sure.
They being anybody. You put in for these, it's going to come through the public safety director or the office of personnel. Has anybody said, okay, well, let's go ahead and let's make these promotions? Has anybody talked to you in the last week or so about this?
No, they're right now, as far as I know, the director of public safety has some concern over the staffing levels of the city fire department. And he has at this time put all promotions on hold within the fire department side. Battalion chiefs and captains. I have 3 openings for battalion chiefs at this current time and 11 open for captains.
Okay. So, and I will say to this committee, my plan is, since, was to do this resolution in hopes that they would start to talk. I will start to prepare a board bill. And if the mayor wants to veto it, I believe we have the votes on the board to override any veto. To me, this seems important. So, I don't have much to say on this. This is why I put this together. My hopes were that this was going to get them to start to move. I don't want this to end up in court, because that's where it's going to go from here. Then we're going to lose in court, which I believe, I mean, I don't know, but I believe. And just like all the other lawsuits, we're not only going to be paying back pay and doing all kinds of stuff, we're going to be paying out, lawsuits. And, to me, it was in Board Bill 1. All these positions are fully funded. all these are positions that all of a sudden somebody, one person or two has decided that these are positions that are no longer necessary. All I know is we're the Board of Alder people. And like I said, my next step will be, this will be a board bill. We'll get a board bill out there that tell them to do this. And I believe we would have the votes to override any board bill. I'm doing all this to try to get them to do the right thing, what I believe is the right thing. So I have no other comments, Madam Chair. I'll just
Okay.
kind of sit back and listen.
At this time, I will open it up for the committee members to ask questions. Either, will you accept questions, Alderman Vaquero and Chief?
Oh, yeah, I'm open to whatever questions anyone has.
Okay. All right, so I will start. And is the Vice Chair, Alderwoman Tyus on the call?
She's not here. That's why I had to have someone step.
Okay. All right. Alderwoman Davis, do you have any questions of either Alderman Vaquero or Chief Jenkerson?
I do, yes.
Oh. Proceed.
Chief Jenkerson, I would like to have some data made available. When you said you had 10 openings for captains, that's a little serious. So for the public and for alderpersons who may not be aware of how critical that is, would you please, and I'm going to ask that you make some data available through the chairperson to the committee and other aldermen. I'd like to know how many firehouses we have.
So we have 30 firehouses
Okay.
and
I-
two at the airport as well that I staff.
Yes, now that's been brought on board, right? We also, I would like to know the members who are needing their promotions. Could you identify for each of them how long they've been serving in these positions, each one of them, without the proper pay and promotion?
Okay, as I'd have to give you the exact dates. I have to pull that from payroll. But as I have openings occur due to retirements, resignations, I assign the next member who is eligible based on the certified list. I assign them as an acting captain or as an acting battalion chief. So I have specific assignment dates that I can pull for you. I mean, it'll take me a little while, but I can pull those exact dates.
True, and I'm fine with that. I know it's going to take a little time because we really have two separate issues that we're dealing with. And that's why I made the statement last week that I want to help the individuals deal with the city of St. Louis, because there are some federal laws that we are not abiding by as for the individuals. And so I want to get this data so I can help them.
Okay.
Also, I'd like to have the actual date that they took the test, because some of them took the test at different times and have been on the eligibility list for a while.
Yes, ma'am. The battalion chiefs took the date or took the test on one date, and all the members who are on the captain's promotional list took the test on the same date. So it's two different ranks, but all members based on their rank took it on the same date.
Right. And so we need to know that date.
I can get that.
Right.
I'll pull those for you.
Okay. We know that when you are in a work environment and you have leadership who makes decisions and assign you to do work, if that is not your classification, what you're hired for and what your salary is, there are laws that say you don't do that job forever and not be paid appropriately. And so on that list of all those people, we do know that each of them at different times were assigned to those positions of being identified as captains, of being identified as battalion chiefs. And so we need to know the dates for each one of them. That way we know how long they've been serving in these positions, that all of a sudden somebody says they need to take another test to determine whether or not they're qualified. Obviously, they're qualified because they've been doing the job. They passed the test. And there's no question about that, other than we have been unfair and not paid them the appropriate salary and given them their promotions. And so it's important for people to be able to identify how long that each of them have been in those positions, serving the city of St. Louis without delay and without, for me, it's without question that they will continue to serve. But my problem is we are not fair and we are unlawful by not giving them the salary, number one. Even if they weren't going to get the promotion, they should have got the salary because they're doing the job. So I really, really, really am very concerned about this. And for me, making data public is important.
I will
I
get
don't
that
want any-
information.
Yes, thank you. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman from the 19th. Next would be Alderwoman Kara Spencer. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. I don't have any further questions. Although this issue is obviously very important. I want to thank the chairman for bringing it forward and the Alderwoman from the 19th for asking some of the questions that were on my mind.
Okay, thank you very much. Next would be Alderwoman Boyd.
I'm like Alderwoman Spencer. Alderwoman Davis, a hard act to follow. She has asked all the questions that we wanted to be asked. And so I'm just concerned because, again, as I keep saying, we are not good employers for our employees. And so if we don't fight for them, who will? So thank you, Alderwoman Davis.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on, Alderman Oldenburg, are you on the call?
I believe he's excused. I'm sorry.
Alderman Narayan. Do you have
Thank
any?
you. No question. Just wanted to thank Chief Jankerson for his time today, and just a quick comment because I have heard from constituents about this issue. I think it's important to remember that these are folks who took the test. They did well enough to pass it. The director of personnel signed off on it. These guys are, men and women are doing the job on a day-to-day basis. They're putting their butts on the line, going into burning buildings on a day-to-day basis. The Board of Aldermen has allocated the funds for these promotions. It's time to promote these men and women. It's that simple to me. There's no reason not to. I understand that there's issues with the age of the test. We can promote these men and women and figure out the issues with a new test moving forward. There is a bonus that this does increase the diversity of the St. Louis Fire Department. And if we promote these men and women, which is the right thing to do, we also can hopefully avoid the cost of litigation, because this is going to be expensive litigation. And I believe that the men and women seeking promotions are going to win that litigation. I think that the decree is quite clear. I'm not sure what the holdup is. I'm not sure if there's some politics behind it or if there's some personal issues behind it. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's simple. It's time to promote these men and women. There's no reason not to. It's the right thing to do, and it's going to save the city money in the long run. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Narayan. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. I don't believe she's on the call. Alderman Page.
Yes, thank you very much. I would only like to echo the questions and comments made by the Alderwoman from the 19th. I think they pretty much covered the spectrum and shared my concerns. So no further questions or comments beyond that.
Thank you very much. Alderwoman Keys, do you have any more questions or have any question at all here?
Thank you. No, I do not have any questions. And again, thank you to Alderwoman Davis and Navarro for the very thoughtful comments, and I am in agreement.
Okay. Chief Jankerson, I do have a question just for a little sharper clarity on this. How long have these people been on this list for promotion? And I know there's two different dates, but let's say the captains and then the battalion chiefs.
You know, I believe that this test has been around almost 7 years. So it's, which isn't uncommon for the fire department because we don't have a contract agreement to give a test every so many years, which I have been asking for since I've been chief. It is of my opinion that we should test for promotions every 3 years. So we're approaching 7 to 8 years with this list, but like I said, it's not uncommon for the fire department to get stuck in a 10-year testing rut. And these members on the list, as you said, did pass the test, and it's not a single test, it's multiple tests. It's a written test. It is a oral interview. It is, you know, an assessment center. So there's a battery of 3 tests, and they are difficult tests. And the spread between these members is often hundreds of a point. So these are, in my opinion, very experienced, very traveled, and seasoned members of the St. Louis City Fire Department, and worthy of promotion.
Okay, and one more question. Since it's been 7 years, have any of the people that qualified for this test been assigned and given the position of battalion chief or captain, other than acting?
You know, as a fire department has vacancies when people retire or resign, I immediately put in a requisition for a certification from Department of Personnel. And at the most, it normally takes me 2 to 3 weeks to get all of the information back and get the members promoted. So as I've been chief for 15 years, we've never had a time where we've had to wait for promotions like this. So as I get the certification list, it shows me their rank. As I have vacancies, I assign them to the vacancies as an acting captain or an acting battalion chief. So, you know, like I said, these have occurred over the last 9 to 10 months, and as their numbers come up, they've been assigned to those positions within that time period. So yes, some of them have been acting for almost a year.
Okay, I was just wondering if someone went back 7 years. So it's basically most of them have been in the position for a year or less.
Yes.
Approximately. Okay. So yeah, that's unconscionable that we would take advantage of people like that. And I appreciate all the questions that have been asked. And at this time, Alderman Vaquero, do you wish to close?
Yeah, just very quick. So I would hope, first off, I think we should do it in bank coming out of the committee. That's up to the committee. But I would hope that us meeting and the meeting that we had at the full board will send a strong message to those that feel that this should be held up for whatever purpose, that they get this done. And if not, I guarantee that the next step will be a board bill. And even if the mayor was to choose to say, veto the board bill, we would have, I believe, the 20+ people to override it. I'm only saying all this to hopefully encourage them to move forward. We're supposed to be a team. I'm trying to work with them. I'm not trying to be mean or threaten or jump up or down. I just really would like to see them make these promotions. Let's move on. We don't need to be in court. I think it's the responsibility now of the Board of Aldermen and in this case, the full board, you know, that we do this. So I guess I would ask that we would pass this out to the full board with a due pass on this resolution number 145. And certainly if anybody,
Do we have a motion to pass this resolution 145 out to the full board with a do pass recommendation?
So moved.
Second,
All
that-
in favor? Do we need, let's do roll call.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
aye.
Alderman Bosley,
Aye.
Alderman Odenberg, Alderman Orion,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, Alderman Page,
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys,
Aye.
Chair Vaccaro,
aye,
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderman Odenberg. 10 aye votes.
I would, if you'd accept the motion, I'd like to make a motion that we do it in bank out of committee.
Second.
Do I hear any objection? All in favor?
And I would just, I would say aye or previous roll,
Aye.
one or the other.
Previous roll, either way. Okay. I think it is in bank. Every committee member agrees to that, so from that, I will turn it back to you, Alderman Vaccaro, as the chair.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing that. I have no other, that was it. I mean, I just hope that we can get this done just because it's the right thing to do. Chief, thank you. I know I'm trying not to put you in an uncomfortable position. I know you, I can say that firefighters that live in the neighborhood, firefighters that catch me in the grocery store are the ones that are really saying it's unfair. I will say you have not called me and said, Joe, get something done for those that might say, you know, but I am putting you in an uncomfortable position to be here, but I do appreciate that. And I know you want to do the right thing, the same as us for the guys.
I appreciate it. Alderman Vaccaro, firefighting is an uncomfortable profession.
Ain't it? You ought to
You've
try
been in
being an
the hot
older
seat
person
before.
sometime. Does anyone else?
I appreciate all your time and I hope everybody has a safe Thanksgiving.
Well, have the ambulance standing by. I'm gonna probably eat myself into a coma, so. And me and my son are going to, well, he's a firefighter, but we are going to fry a turkey in the backyard, so. Just FYI. Anyone else have anything? Just speak out. You can just open your mics. Anyone else?
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and I make a motion, we close the meeting, and
I'll second that. So all in favor?
Aye.
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 Well, thank you all, and we'll see you all at the meeting that's in about an hour from now, whoever's on that one. Anyway, thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Be safe.